What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new news video. Today what I got for you guys is we're going to be going over and talking about the Season 3 Reloaded update, focusing on the patch notes. We know that this is going to be the biggest update we are going to be receiving for the rest of Season 3, so that means that we are going to be seeing a lot of different patch notes, a lot of changes, fixes, and other patch notes. Also, if you find this video informative, consider hitting that subscribe button so you always stay up to date on the latest Call of Duty news. Before we get into today's topic, a quick word from our sponsor, Messy Modding Store. It's a store that provides any and all Call of Duty services. They can even get you exclusive operators and bundles such as the Nuke Operator, the Burger King, as well as the Ghillie outfit. For the most reliable and swift Call of Duty services, check out Messy Modding. The link will be down in the description. So as of right now, we have just a week and a half until the brand new update goes live. It will be going live on May 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and usually around an hour before this update goes live, we do get the official patch notes and the blog post for the entire update. Now, another thing is usually sometimes the day before, if you are on like PlayStation or Xbox, sometimes you have the opportunity to pre-download it earlier. This doesn't happen every update, but this is something that does happen sometimes. Will be available for you to download, so that way when it does go live, you're automatically into the game. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the patch notes. That's what we're going to be focusing on. If you want to know what new content is going to be coming in, I've already made a video. The link will be in the description. We talked about Warzone Ranked coming in. We talked about new operators, licensed operators, raid missions, and so much more, because there is a lot of content that will be coming in the Reloaded update. But the content is really not going to matter at all if the update does not fix the game, because there's many issues right now. There's many problems that people are having, and if they don't fix any of these, then the content is really for nothing, because no one's going to get to enjoy it in the first place. So the first thing that I want to talk about is going to be the movement. So prior to the Season 3 update, it started out as devs teasing that there was going to be movement changes involved. They told us that they were going to be changing up the movement, they were going to be speeding it up, and that's what they told a lot of Call of Duty content creators when they did a dev call. So they introduced that they were going to be adjusting movement and speeding it up, and specifically they did mention the mantling speed was going to be raised, and then also the recovery time after sliding or dolphin diving, because those were really slow at the time. Now they still are slow, I'm not gonna lie, but the update ended up rolling out and it was a pure disappointment. A lot of people were not happy with this update. Even the content creators who are actually in the call themselves, for example like Charlie Intel and them, who are actually in the call themselves, said that they just, the way they worded it, the way that they came out and said that we were going to be adjusting, it seemed like it was going to be more drastic than the changes that we ended up receiving, and it was a pure disappointment. Now the thing is, after the community uproar and everyone, gave them their feedback, tweeted at them saying like this update was not good, the movement did not change much, they ended up doing a survey. So they ended up creating the survey and they've emailed it out to millions and millions of players. Some of you may have gotten it, but the whole point of the survey is in regards to movement. So they said Call of Duty has been sending out surveys asking players for their thoughts on the movement in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. They asked for feedback on the speeds of the following mechanics, and it's just a list of them. So, and then you have the sliding speeds, transition time, that's the first one. Then you have mantling speeds, then you have climbing speeds. They went over and talked about things that you really weren't expecting them to talk about. Like, for example, no one really talks or thinks about the climbing speed, climbing up a ladder and all that. And then there's the sprint to fire speed, which is, I feel like it's a lot slower than we see in other games. Then you have strafing, then you have shooting while jumping and after jumping, which is like bunny hopping. Then you have stance transition, you have walk and sprint, tactical sprint, which is extremely slow as of right now. It's like you can only tactical sprint for a couple seconds and then you have to recover for a while. And then you have the crouched movement, you have swimming, and then you have the ADS speeds, you have the prone movement, you have dolphin diving, basically every single type of speed in this game. And they sent this survey out to a majority of the casual player base, so they are trying to gauge the feedback of players of all levels. So they may go into the lowest levels, ask them, then they went into mid-tier levels, and they went to the higher tier levels. It doesn't seem like any of like the content creators or people who are always advocating on Twitter and talking about Call of Duty and all that. The typical casual player base is people who don't really tweet at Call of Duty. They don't have social medias to really give their opinions or even care to give their opinions, and those are the people that Call of Duty has been trying to target overall. Those are like the biggest consumers that they have, and those are the people that they really care about their opinions. So if you didn't get it, then yeah, there's a lot of us who didn't get it. I myself didn't get it as well. But in regards to these, they usually, every single time they send a survey like this, the point is they end up doing some sort of an update after that. So in the Season 3 Reloaded update, we will most likely be getting more movement changes, more movement fixes, depending on the feedback of this. So if they said it's too slow, they're probably going to be speeding everything up across the board. If they say it's just fine, then it's not going to change. One thing I can tell you is every time they do these surveys, typically the next big update right after, there's big changes that are going to be involved. So in the Season 3 Reloaded update, I do expect to see some sort of movement changes. There's also comparisons being made to past Call of Duties by other creators, and here's just a clip to show you guys Modern Warfare 3 versus Modern Warfare 2 right now. So you can see that it's much slower even in comparison to the older Call of Duties. Obviously with the more recent ones, it's still very slow. So it's probably one of the slowest Call of Duties in terms of movement, pacing, and things like that. And that's why a lot of people are not really that happy with it, because they want to see that movement increase. But what are your thoughts and opinions on that? But anyways, let's go ahead and let's jump on to the next topic. So, and this has to do with server issues. So we can all agree, whether you play the game casually or not, the game has huge server issues. It causes lag, it causes spikes, it causes rubber banding, and there's just different issues and problems that if you play the game, you will automatically notice. Sometimes you won't even be able to play the game because of how bad the servers are, and that is just a big issue that even Call of Duty themselves have actually recognized. So it's not easy to get a Call of Duty official Twitter to post about a problem they have, because the entire Twitter account is mainly about promotion. They usually are always advertising new bundles, new packs that are coming into the game. They've been advertising the Black Cell non-stop, the CDL skins that are coming out, they've been advertising those non-stop. So when there's something negative as like a server issue, they typically just leave it to Infinity Ward to post about, or leave it to like Raven. But this time around, it was so big and got so many complaints that they actually ended up posting it themselves on their main Twitter, and they did say that they are working on looking for a fix. So we can see some big, huge overhauls and fixes that are going to be coming in the next big update, which is the Season 3 Reloaded update. So in my opinion, I feel like this is probably the biggest change or biggest patch note that we need to see in the game in order for the game to thrive, because even if you are not a fan of movement, you're not a fan of some of the mechanics in the game, we can all agree that the game will be a lot more enjoyable if you are not lagging as hard, or if you're not having big server issues. So I did mention in the past that Warzone 2 was created in the first place in order to have the capability of being put on better servers to provide better and more fluid gameplay that Warzone 1 would not be able to give you. So yeah, they need to keep that end of the promise and make the game a lot more enjoyable. But anyways, let's go ahead, let's jump on to the other things. So we know that there's going to be other small changes here and there we are going to be getting. For example, first off, we're going to be getting weapon adjustments. So they're going to be nerfing some weapons, buffing some weapons, and that has to do with the player feedback that they get while people are playing the game. If they're seeing everyone using the Cronin Squall and the time to kill is too fast, they're going to end up nerfing it. If they're seeing the opposite, then they will end up buffing it. So depending on how the players are, I can't really give you exactly what changes are going to happen, but they're going to be doing weapon adjustments, which happen every single update. Another thing is that they are testing smaller random things, for example, name tags on top of enemy players. So as you guys can see in Plunder, they're testing it out right now in Plunder just to see how it plays out, how people like it, and if it works out, if it improves anything. And if they do enjoy that, then they're probably going to be bringing it into Warzone like that. I know that it wouldn't work out in things like DMZ, so I don't know how they're going to be doing that. Maybe it's just going to stay in Plunder, or maybe it's just a little test that they are doing in order to bring it into Warzone Ranked, because maybe in Warzone Ranked it'll be a little bit more efficient to know who you are fighting against. Other than that, there's also some new features that are going to be coming in, and that's going to be perk packages. That's one of them in Warzone. It says another addition to the loot pool in Season 3 is preset perk packages that can be found in supply boxes. Specific lower rarity perk packages are available at buy stations. Based on the perk packages Season 1 and Season 2, these items are going to be incredibly valuable given their passive benefit, helping Warzone operators who opt not to obtain a loadout drop to be on the same level as those who do. So that way, if you like weapons on the floor that you picked up and you don't want a particular loadout, you'll be able to get these perk packages and still have the opportunity to use perks even if you are not using a loadout. Another new feature we are going to be seeing is going to be the Gulag entry kit, which is going to be a small item with a massive potential impact, and that is going to be giving you the opportunity to pretty much be able to come back into the Gulag even if you've already been there after finding one of these Gulag entry kits. So that's just another like new item that's going to be dropping. Another thing is going to be deployable buy station. That one is straightforward, but you'll be able to call in the buy station at any point in the game, anywhere that you want, so that way you can use it. You don't have to run into a buy station and deal with all those campers. But these are some changes that are going to be coming in, new features that are going to be coming in. There's obviously other things that I can't really give you. For example, they're going to be changing spawn rates of the bomb drone. I know that's one thing that they're going to be fixing. Definitely going going to be doing damage adjustment to like kill streaks and stuff like that. They're also going to be preparing a lot for Warzone Ranked. So Warzone is probably going to get the biggest sort of update this time around. Modern Warfare 2, there's probably going to do a lot of bug fixes. If there's like out-of-map exploits and things like that, they're going to fix those. Probably a little bit of audio fixes, and then overall UI changes. So they're probably going to be doing some UI updates, especially because the trophy hunt event is going to be ending, and then they're going to be doing the camel event, so that they're going to be changing that up, and then they're also going to be adding some other things to make it easier to adjust. But we will get the official patch notes on the day of the update, so I got you guys covered with that. But anyways, these are the big fixes that we are expecting to get. There's obviously going to be some surprises. If we get any more information, I got you guys covered with the video. But if there's any particular changes you guys want to see here in the update, comment it down below and let me know. Maybe there's some things that I just didn't include or forgot about. But yeah, it's been your boy Trizzle. Hopefully I'll be seeing you guys again on the channel. Peace.